everyone, welcome back to my channel English in a Blink, and today we're going to look at prepositions. Yes, you heard me, prepositions, something that everybody loves, isn't it? Yeah, I know they are a little bit confusing sometimes. You don't know when exactly do you have to use your to or when to use your for. It's a problem. It's a problem. I mean, it's one thing that my students constantly ask me. Okay, so that's why I decided to make a lesson on to and for. And also, I will be looking at a difference between for and since. Is it a problem as well? Do you find it difficult? Is it confusing? Well, after today, it won't be anymore. So let's go. Okay, so here we are looking at uses of to and for. So the first use of to is for destination. Okay, so we use to when we're talking about destination. We're going to Paris. Okay, so always understand when there's a movement. All right, so when you're going from a place to another place, always you have your preposition to. Okay, so when you're talking about destinations, we're going to Paris. Oh, I wish. All right. Looking at our second one, what time it is. It is 1:45. So again, the second usage is when you talk about time and when you're telling someone time, so you use this structure. It's 1:45. Okay. Looking at third one, which is about distance. So it's about 10 miles from my house to the university. Again, in terms of distance, how long is the distance from my house to yours? Okay, so whenever you're talking about that, you will again use your to. So it's about 10 miles from my house to the university. Okay, then we have comparing. So when you're comparing two things, I prefer sleeping to working. How many of you actually prefer that? I'm sure there are loads. I prefer sleeping to working. So when you're talking about preference, you have to use your preposition to. Okay, the next one is giving. All right, when you're talking about giving something to someone. So I gave the book to my sister. Okay, like one more thing. So when you I'll just like a basic thumb rule, which I want you to remember. So when it says I gave the book to my sister, that means it is like physically, like a movement. But I brought this book for my sister. It is like something which is good for my sister. Maybe I thought she would like it. So like a basic thumb rule is when you are talking about that I gave this to you or to someone, that means it is like a physical, it was somewhere and I gave it to you, or I brought it and I gave it to you. But when I brought something for you, that means I thought it was good for you. Okay, it's like a basic thumb rule which I thought I should share with you. All right, and the last one is your motive or your reason. Again, now I will look both of them side by side. All right, so when you're giving your motive or reason, you can use it with to. You can also use it with for. But when you use it with to, you always use a verb. So here, as it says, I came here to see you. All right, so see is a verb. But if you're going to use your for instead of to, what would you say? I came here for Rob. Okay, so that means you're going to be using a noun, or you can say I came here for you. Okay, so either noun or your pronoun. All right, so you can use both, like I said, when you're giving like a motive or a reason. But when you're using it with to, it's going to be a verb. But when you're going to use it with for, it's going to be a noun. All right, so that is about to. Coming to our for. So like I already explained, we use for when something is good for us. It benefits us. Okay, so yogurt is good for your digestion. All right, so when you're talking about for, benefit. Then you can use for when you're talking about period of time. We have lived here for 2 years. Okay, so we have lived here for 2 years. That means it is talking about period of time. All right, so now when we are here on period of time, looking at for, I'll quickly go through and tell you the difference between for and since. So when you talk about period of time, all right, for 2 years, you use your for. But if you're going to use your since, then you're going to talk about a specific time in past. So then you will say, we have lived here since 2010. Okay, so this is how your for and since are different. We use for with period of time and we use since with specific time in past. Okay, so that is your difference between for and since. Moving on with for. So we use it for our schedule. I made an appointment for May 3rd. Okay, so then talking about your schedule, you use your for. When you're agreeing with something, so are you for or against development of nuclear weapons? We are all against. Yes, I know that. Okay, so then you're talking about for when you're talking about something that you agree with. Then you have when you do something to help someone. Could you carry these books for me? All right, when you're asking for help, again, you use your for. This one we have already looked at, motive or reason with noun. So I came here for you. Let's go out for a drink. Okay. Then the last one is your function. So what is the function of something? So pen, we use pen for writing. A ladle is a big spoon used for serving soup. Okay, so when you are giving a function, what is this thing used for? You use your for. Always remember, when you're giving a function and you're using your verb, it is always going to be ing. Okay, why? Can anyone tell me? For is what? For is a preposition, and after preposition, we use ing. That is your gerund. Yes, you're right. Very good. Well done. That brings us to the end of this lesson. I'm sure you'll know exactly when to use to and when to use for. Next time something is for your benefit, you know it's for. And when something is in motion, it is your to. Okay, so don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and do not forget to share the word. Come on, people. If it is helpful to you, spread it. Share it with your friends. See you next time.